Okay. Did everybody have a chance? Like, who all raise of hands? Who all had a chance to listen to this episode of the podcast? Danny and Amber. Okay. I know other ones that aren't, I can't see you, so maybe, but it'll still be good.
Are they recorded? I hope.
Yes, I just recorded. And now I'm
No,
muting.
no.
Everybody just went mute.
Hello?
Oh my goodness, guys. I muted everybody, so that included me. And yeah, oh my word, maybe this wasn't a good night for me to host. Okay. What I was saying was,
let's just embrace the craziness. Let's just
right?
inhale, relax.
I think it is for
have
everybody.
fun.
Yes. Okay, so tonight this is just one of those calls that we are just going to discuss the episode. If you didn't listen to the episode, but maybe what we're talking about, you have something to add in, go ahead. Okay. You don't have to have listened to it or filled out the workbook or anything. But I think like we get more out of, I know I do, of just discussing things. Because like I said last week, I might take some things from it that you might take something completely different that I didn't get or that you didn't get. And we share it and it just makes it that much better and it's more fun. So first off, I will start. And we don't really have to go in order that the podcast went, or if you have your workbook. But what I love and what we've heard from John Maxwell is that leadership is a skill that we have to learn. Leadership is not something that everybody has naturally. This is just something we have to learn. And I don't know about you, but that makes me feel so much better. Just because to some people are just, it seems like they're so good at it. And it's like, man, I wish I was, that eloquent and that, just have those ideas and just be so helpful and, feel like you have it all. And nobody does. Nobody feels that way, no matter how they come across. And, some people have it as a strength, which is great, but I think that's very few people. The rest of them learn it. So yeah, and it's something that we can all do and learn because it's a skill. And the other thing was, hang on, I'm admitting people too, was that everyone is able to be a leader. Everybody. But are you willing to learn the skill of leadership? And that's what it comes down to. And so that's why I guess I'm really liking starting these podcasts and just continuing to learn, and how Plexus teaches us at every event that they have more on leadership. It's just growing us. And, those of us that want to learn how to be a better leader are going to take it in and work on it. And it might be ugly at times, like tonight. Anybody have anything they want to add right now? Yep. Go ahead and unmute yourself. This is just a friendly discussion, guys.
I think as a leader too, sometimes we just have to figure it out. And that makes a great leader when you meet somebody that is backed into a corner and she just goes and figures it out. and just goes to the next thing. I love Brittany Howard. I've been following her for a long time, and her podcast is amazing. And she's a girl that just figured it out. You know, she was backed into some corners and went out and figured it out piece by piece. And it's not rocket science. It is a skill that, is learned. And you'll never arrive. I don't think you'll ever fully arrive because there's always going to be something new to learn. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, that's definitely for sure. It's never, yeah, you've never arrived. And when you think that you have arrived, you're gonna be surprised at some point. Yeah, I mean, leadership is influence, and that's it. And we saw on last week's video, that funny video, but it was really good. If we are an influencer, I mean, this just really makes you take a self-check and really look at, okay, go back, and whether it's on our social media or how we talk to people and like past conversations, we look back at that and just see, am I an influencer, or am I one that's more negative and complaining? And to be honest, like, I wouldn't think of myself as always a complainer, but I know lately there are times that I'm complaining more. I find myself, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? Who am I? And we have to do a self-check, because I think we're all going to have days like that. But that's when we have, like, you guys, like us as a community, our team, that can help us do that mind shift, change our perspective, and bring us back. And that's our support. And that's what I think is so beautiful about Plexus and about this team in particular. Just because you're going to find it, just by reaching out to any of you guys and just kind of pull you back. I love that. Great idea, learning skill. I know when I first started with Plexus, I watched and listened to all the leaders pulling things no one could grow. Exactly. I did the same thing, Sunday. I mean, that's exactly how I grew my business, because we knew nothing about it. And it was, I know for me, like, put it in the chat if you guys, can, like, who were your top 2 or 3 that you really learned from, like YouTube videos or people you followed? I just want to see, if it's like the same people. Like, mine was Sonia Dudley. Like, she was my number 1. Sarah Marble. Yes. Lori Harrison was another one of mine. Emily Gibson, Melissa Eichenhorst. Yeah. Very good. And yet still to this day, I mean, for me, that was 9 years ago. And still to this day, I can still go back and watch their videos and get something else from them. And they're still around, which that's the longevity of it. Jill Renfro, Emily Roberts. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So good. So one thing that, I know it's saying how you add value to solve problems for people, right? That's one way that that's the quickest way to add value to people, is to help problem solve with our products. That's an easy one. We can list out what our products can solve problems for other people. The opportunity, I felt like that was an easier one too. Finances was the number 1 thing. I also wrote down personal growth outside of the comfort zone, because that's what this opportunity has helped me with. And I know of others, on my team that it's helped them. Self-confidence, community. Did anybody else have anything else under, like, how can you help solve a problem for someone with this opportunity? Does anybody else have anything to add to that one? Okay. What about, and this is, I do want like some of you guys to speak up if you don't mind on this one. The quickest way to add value is to solve a problem for someone so list some things that have nothing to do with your business. How can you add value like to someone not related to Plexus? Does anybody want to share? Everybody. Okay. Well, like some of mine were a closer walk with God, an encouragement through God's word, actually listening to them. Yeah, Sean. Another thing is as being a parent, whether it's a teen or a toddler or in between, I can relate to that. Some of you guys can relate to ones that are grown and out of the house. One of the things I have noticed through the years is people are desperate for relationships, just being there and listening. Yeah, exactly. Just truly listening with a confident, is that the right word? Somebody they can trust that it's not going to go elsewhere, like that they can to confide in. That's what I'm looking for. That somebody that you can truly confide in, even if it is just an ear to listen. I think we all need that. But what are some other, I guess if you think about this and write this down, try to think of your own, like things that you can add value to other people in ways that have nothing to do with Plexus. That is a very important question because that is your brand. That's how, we've been taught, well, what's your brand? That's what you're going to share on social media is, something that you can just, yes, Amber, like you, through your recovery. Absolutely. That's your brand. And there's more to, your brand than that, but yes, for sure. Something that you can talk from the heart anytime and you could just go on, for a long time. Lifelong friendships. Yeah, I like that, David. And that's a special thing. That's neat. I think even humor is one. I mean, we all have bad days. And do you ever just go and look at memes or whatever, just because you need a laugh that day? And I have like certain people that I send it to, just because I know they'll think it's funny too, because we have the same humor, but they need it too. Abuse. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, like, those are so deep, and we think that some of those things happen to just a small amount of people. But then once you put it out there, you find out just how many are struggling. And that's where vulnerability comes in and why that's important to a point. Let's see. Humor is a big one. The last few years, I've been so heavy. I need to get back to that too. Yeah. I try to add humor to a lot of my feed and stories. Everyone needs a laugh. Exactly. And turning frowns upside down. And I've heard, have you guys seen, I haven't looked it up to see if it's actually true, but laughing burns calories. Yay! That's a double win. Uplifting makes someone's day, be there for them. Yeah. And not only does it help them, but it does something for your soul. for us too. Like it's a win-win. I can relate to others who have been through miscarriage, infertility, as well as parenting. Then for the last 23 months, losing my mom. It's hard. Yeah. Laughing helps build your immune system. Yes. Sweet. Shoot, guys, we need to be laughing every day. We need to just send each other stuff. That'd be funny. We'll all be really healthy and none of us will be sick. That's a good one. And y'all have something like unique to share too. And to help give somebody. Sometimes it's hard to think, like it feels like we don't have enough to give to people, when look at what all you guys have already been sharing. And that's very important and special things too. So, the other part was, what do you find yourself seeking out information on to learn about? And that can help you, like we discussed last week, as we are growing ourselves and as we are either reading or listening to books, for those of us that don't like to read, listening to podcasts, just, YouTube videos, just anything, that's building us in what we're learning and growing, but that helps us share what we're learning with others, like as we're learning it. And it gives us, honestly, content to share. I don't know about you, but it stresses me out thinking, what am I going to share on social media today? I have no idea what to post. And that helps me, whether I'm reading my Bible or whether I'm, listening to one of these podcasts or a book or something. There's like a little tidbit that, what really jumps out at you, share that. Sunday's latest searches have been how to add values to other. Yeah. That and how to grow a garden. I want to see this garden, Sunday, when you get it done. It's going to be awesome. I just know it. That's awesome. I just want to know where you're putting it. Yeah. You don't know yet either. Oh, funny. You all can talk too, instead of just putting it in the chat. Feel free. Having a positive attitude and doing it on purpose. For sure. I know of one particular person on my team who's a friend of mine, and this was before Plexus, and she was always just complaining on Facebook, like that was her venting, and it was fine, but it was tiresome. And it's like over time, you just don't want to see their stuff anymore because it just gets old. And even just complaining, sometimes it's like, okay, I have enough complaints of my own. I don't need to hear everybody else's all the time. It's just, I want to hear something good. Do you guys have days like that, or have people that you know of that's just like, okay, enough already? Like, is there anything good going on? But that friend, after Plexus, I noticed over time, and she's still with Plexus now, still one of my good friends. But what's neat is seeing people grow and different. And her posts have completely changed from way back before she started Plexus. And it's because, I know it's because she is surrounded by people that are more positive and uplifting. And guys, it's the support. It's our community. It's us right here, this team. And that has something to be said. So it's just neat when you can see it in other people, how they're growing and changing, and just what a difference a positive attitude does make on people. Okay, number 4, be more focused on possibilities than problems. She has, oh crap, I'm on a low battery on my phone. Okay. It says, think about the last 3 conversations you had. Were they more focused on, check 1, ideas, ambitions, goals, strategies, or possibilities? Or 2, problems or other people? Can we answer that honestly? I mean, was it the first one or more of the second one lately? And where we need to shift it. What you talk about is a reflection of what you are focused on. So if we're always talking about our problems and about other people, well, that's an issue. And that should open our eyes that, hey, we need to mind shift. We need to change this and start thinking about and talking about ideas, ambitions, goals, strategies, and possibilities. Because as leaders, what we're talking about filters down in our team, and then we're going to have a more negative team. And then nothing's going to go right. And then business is going to dwindle, and just health and everything. It's just not going to be good. And I don't want to start that, as a leader and have it come from me. I know you don't either. Be interested in people. Sometimes that's hard. There's certain days that's really hard. Ask good questions. That's a big one for me. Like that one, last week's video on that, like influencer girl, on whether you're boring or you're interesting. And she was saying how, you don't just ask the surface questions. I am so guilty of that, because I don't know what to say. And so, oh, hey, how are you? I'm fine. How are you doing? That whole typical spiel. And then it's like silence. Okay. I know I'm lost. What else do I ask or say? So I guess that's an insight for me that, I need to be more interested and ask good questions, like deeper questions of what's going on in their life and maybe somebody in their family and again, I think that's a skill. Like she said, influence, leadership is a skill. It's something to be learned. And I think even asking good questions and being interested in people, I think that takes practice and over time. I also think, of course, that's some people's strengths. So some of you guys might be like, that's not a problem for me. That's totally easy. I can get that. I talk to people all day long. Be happy that's your strength. I wish that was mine. Be curious and relate to them. I think the relating to them, I can relate to. I did one of those. Okay, so let me see a share of hands. Okay, raise of hands on who has done the Strength Finder test. Strength Finder 2.0 by Tom Gallant. I can't remember the name of the guy. Okay, Janelle has. Anybody else? Okay, so that's something that you can do on your own. It's actually something I think you take it online. It's been so many years since I've done it, but you take it and then there's a book about it that tells you what your strengths are, right? And then it dives into more about your strengths. And when I took this, I didn't really know what my strengths were. And so that in itself helped build my confidence, because I was like, oh, well, it shows me, empathy was my number one strength. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I can totally empathize with people. So it's called Strength Finder 2.0. I don't know that if they have a newer one since then, because this was years ago, but look that up. And you might have to buy the book, and then it has a code where you can take the quiz. But I got mine off of Amazon. And that will tell you your strengths, like your top 3, I think. Sunday's bipolar, meaning I love to be around people, but I also love to never leave your house. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way too, Sunday. I get that. See, I'm empathetic.
I can chime in real quick on this part.
Yes.
So I took it for a job that I was at a Christian college. I was there from 05 to 11, so it was somewhere between that time frame. I think we did our top 5 and maybe even top 10, like to dig deeper. And then they like gave us a little thing. I don't remember anything but my top one because it was so astonishing to me, because apparently my number 1 is adaptability, flexibility, and I hate change. So there's that. But apparently I'm good at it. So, for what it's worth.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yeah, that is a good one though, Janelle. That's very good. Now, have you, since you knew that, and now you realize that, like, do you see it, when change comes and you're adapting to things, like, do you see that as a strength now?
Yeah, especially this year. I work part-time as a special ed educational assistant in elementary school. And I think I'm on my 5th schedule change so far this year. So I've been I've been in every grade. Well, no, I've been in every grade this year. I was gonna say except for 4th, but I've been in every grade so far this year. And normally for the last like 3 years, I've been in with one teacher in that classroom for the whole year. So we've all been a fruit basket this year, and it's driving me nuts, but apparently I adapt well.
Yep. Well, that's good. Oh man. Yeah, that's a lot of change. Oh, sorry, Sunday. Thanks for hopping on while you could, though. Give your dad a big hug for me.
Do you want me to go ahead and give the prizes out, and I'll go back to talking about the call?
Yes, please, because we'll be done in just a little bit. So yeah, go ahead and do the prizes.
And sorry, I'm having to hop off. We just picked my dad up from the airport. His best friend had quadruple bypass surgery, and so he flew out to spend time with him, and we picked him up from the airport. So, and I just got a text and said that they're ready for me. So real quick, Amber, of course, won top person. The random drawing that we do from the group is Sean Otto. Is she still on the call? I saw.
Yeah.
And then I am going to do a random drawing from the call itself. And I was sitting here figuring it up. And David, send me your PayPal or Venmo. I'm going to send you a little something when I get back to the table and let you know what it is. So send me a little email.
Oh, that's awesome.
Steph, you're doing a great job. This
Thank
is a
you.
wonderful podcast, and I've really enjoyed it. And I will see everybody next Monday.
All right. Bye, Sunday. Yay to you guys. Fun. I love prizes. Congratulations, guys. Okay. I'm on number 6. Genuine compliment builds influence. And that's something, I don't know, do you guys ever listen to Chuck Swindoll? Any of his like Insight for Living messages or? Okay. So lately, like I'll go on that website and do like the reading devotion sometimes. And it's Insight for Living. And like it's for the past month or couple months, it's been on like how you serve others better. Like it's on serving. And it's been really good. And sometimes we'll listen to the his actual messages too that you can listen to. And there was just one on encouragement. And there is a book, I think, called Encouragement. I wrote it down. I can't find it right now. but it's something that I want to read because he was referring to it in there. And it was going along with the number 6, like on a compliment, on a genuine compliment. We're not talking flattery. Encouragement, there's like a surface kind of fake encouragement, flattery, and then there's like a genuine, true compliment. And we can really tell the difference, and I'm guilty of it. I think we all are, probably, of doing flattery quite often. Not necessarily meaning to, because I do mean it when I say it, because I'm not going to say it if I don't mean it. But yet it's very surfacey. And I feel it deeper if I could just say the words that I'm feeling deeper, that would go a lot farther. And it's not that the person would remember what we say, but they remember how they felt, and that's what she said in the podcast. And it's so true. Like, you just remember that person was just kind of a comfort to be around, and that's kind of life-giving. And that's what we're striving for as a leader, is to be more life-giving rather than kind of life-taking. Like, everything else sucks the life out of us. We don't need to add any more to that. If there's anything that we can give, that's what we're going through with all of these little ways that we can add value. And just a sincere compliment goes a very long way. And it doesn't even have to be anything big. I think it's happened to all of us. I can remember even in the grocery store and somebody saying something that it wasn't anything big, but again, I remember it made me feel very special, and it actually was the highlight of that day. Put a smile on your face. Number 7, be consistent. Oh, yay, yes.
So really quick before I forget, I just got a message from Sue McCain that said she wanted to be on the call, but they just rushed Matthew to the ER.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
Oh, no. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's stop right now, guys. Let's pray for them right now. Thank you, Amber. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just pray that, Lord, you'll be with Sue and Matthew and her husband, Lord, and their family. And just, Lord, I just pray your hand will be on them. Put a hedge of protection around them, Lord. And I just pray, Lord, that you'll give the doctors clarity and just know exactly how to help him. And that this won't be anything major or huge. It won't be a hospital stay. Lord, I just pray that you just put your healing hand on him and just really comfort Sue, Lord, and her husband, Lord, and give them strength to get through this. Lord, we know that you will, and we know that you can. We love you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thanks, Amber. That would be so hard. So consistency. I guess the big thing that stuck out to me with being consistent, so everything takes consistency, right? But it was showing up consistently. And again, I hope you guys will speak up too. I feel like I'm talking this whole thing. I know for me, I will start things and it might go for a little bit, even if it's going well, and then I quit it. And then I look back and I'm like, why did I stop that? And sometimes it's even calls, just as with my team and things like that. Life gets hard, life gets busy. I come up with excuses, whatever the case may be, but we can all look back on certain things that, I haven't showed up consistently, and I think it shows to our teams more than we think, and to others when we're just kind of flighty or here and there or full of excuses. This one kind of hit me hard, I'm not gonna lie. And in a lot of things, even with my family. So it's one of those things that, you know what? I can't, we can't let it bring us down, or paralyze us, because when I get overwhelmed, then I just don't do anything. And we just take it one day at a time and a small step, which is what Plexus is helping us to, kind of opening our eyes, go for the small wins today, a small step today. And then you can do another one, the next day, and it'll be easier to be consistent. Let's see. Sean says life gets in the way and then it's hard to get back on track. Yeah. Going through that now, trying to get back on track. Sorry, Sean. It is hard. It's hard to come back, but you can do it. And again, it's just taking it one day at a time and just little bits that you can do. And when it gets to be too much, then just know, you know what? This is too much for me right now. I'm not doing any of it well. Take a step back and just kind of view it at what you can do to move
That's
forward.
what I'm trying to do now. Since I had my knee surgery, it's just been hard getting back into the swing of things because I put things off for a while. It seemed like just trying to recoup and recover, and now getting back in the swing, it's just been hard.
Mhm.
But I'm trying. I'm getting there.
Yeah. And you will. It sounds like you're doing a good job. You know what? You're wanting to, and that's the step. Like that's the first step. And you're trying to. And Melissa, you're right there with her, and Karen. Yeah.
I feel
I
like
think we all-
there's a lot of different ways you can look at it too. So for me, in the beginning of all of this, consistency was just making that post every single day. And then now being 3 years in and further in and becoming a leader, the follow-up, being consistent with follow-up, being consistently there for every single team member, is a big thing for me. And then for me, where I saw a decline in my growth as far as business goes, I literally started signing somebody up this way and did that for so long. And then I was like, well, let's try something different. And the different didn't work. And so I was like, well, let's go back to what works. And so it was like just the contrast of what works and what don't work for you and getting it down and a balance. Time blocking, consistently time blocking has been a huge benefit for me this year. And being able to cut the phone off consistently every single night and putting it away, you would not believe how low my anxiety went from having the phone off. Like it's consistently every single night, 10:30, the phone goes on mute. And it's just like mind blowing to me that I didn't do this before. So yeah, anyways, there's all the different ways you can think of all of that, right?
Yeah. No, that's great, Amber. Thank you. Because you're absolutely right. And it's different for everybody. Just like you said, Amber, like that, you tried something new, which is great, but it wasn't working. So you go back to what was working for you. Different things work different for everybody. And that goes in your business too. And so you just have to find it. But I think you're spot on, coming when you're trying to make a comeback, don't try to do it all at once. Start with, like Amber said, posting once a day. Just get into that habit again. And just like gradually adding in another step and another step. Start, reaching out to even just one person that you need to follow up with a day. Don't try to do too many all at once, because then you're going to get bombarded with responses. And then it's just like, oh my goodness, I can't handle this. And if possible, release yourself of the guilt. We are so hard on ourselves with guilt, and it's unnecessary guilt. We're going for progress, not perfection. And just try to keep that in mind.
I was just
Um,
gonna jump in.
yeah.
Sorry.
Nope, you're
I
good.
started to talk, but at the same time Amber did. But I was gonna say there's seasons of times of things too where we step back and take a break. You know, so like surgeries or death or whatever, and that's fine. We have to have room to breathe. But when you were talking about consistency, the thing that popped in my head was that training that Alicia posted by Melissa Eichenhorst. I don't know if any of you watched that. But where she talked about patterns and be deathly afraid of patterns, and that like when you're in your normal season of trying to be consistent and you come to meetings week after week after week, then you miss one, you've just missed a meeting. But when you miss week after week after week, then that's your pattern, and you're no longer like somebody that's reliable to be there, but you're one that misses the meetings. And that was kind of a scary, like, ooh, I can see how that could happen quite easily. So I don't know, just that part hit home when I heard her say that.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I need to. Yeah. Was anybody else? David, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think this goes along with what you first talked about in the first part of this call with leadership. Be a leader, one can be able to be follow. Lead by example. Consistency, and even Amber being sick, she still managed to work her business and get her team to work or whatever, where most people might just shut down. But that's okay too, because everybody has hard times. They go through a lot. A lot of people go through things we don't even know about. But like everything else, this shall pass. You get right back on track or whatever. But be consistent, and then your team will follow. Because if they see you shutting down all the time and not showing up, just show up for your team alone will inspire others to do the same.
Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Because
Thank you.
they're watching you, and believe it or not, they're watching to see if you fail. But and then there's lay in the woodwork, and then they finally come out like, whoa, hey, now that inspired. You never know when you inspire somebody else to do the same thing. So
yeah. Yep.
I learned by everybody else. I learned all the leaders I live on this call with, like, that inspires me to go out and just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thanks, David. That's right.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And the thing is, we all go through hard times for a reason. Even if it is, like your knee surgery, and, we go through them, and how we come back from them, you're going to be able to help your team member or somebody else, go through something very similar. It helps you learn and grow on how to help them more. Like, even though it's hard at that time and we just can't see it, and we're like, I don't know how we're going to get through it, but you do, and you will. And this enables you to be able to help others later on that might go through the same thing, and you're going to see it. And the same thing when you go backwards in points, or you have someone on your team that outranks you. It's hard. It hurts the pride, but the thing is, you can only grow from it if you don't stop, and sink back. And like, you're going to come back from it. And they say the setback sets you up for an even better comeback. So let's see. Had that happen every time. After every hard trial I've been through. Part that hit me was prioritizing the wrong things. Yeah, that would be a good one. I need to go listen to that call. It sounds really good. Okay. Let's see. Be intentional not to subtract. So we add value, but then if we're not adding value, then we're subtracting from those people. What subtracts? Complaining. Who likes to hear that? Gossiping. Gossiping breaks trust in people. Lying, of course, ever. A negative attitude, lack of belief. And that's another thing that even when you don't feel like you're not like feeling all the confidence, right? But yet you're still posting on Facebook or still talking to team members or new people, and your belief is wavering, your personal, for whatever reason, because it happens. Maybe somebody, came back and the products aren't working great for them, like, oh, I had this issue and whatever. I don't know about you, but that always sets me back a little bit. I believe 100% in our products. I really do. But when somebody comes back with a negative experience, it sets me back a little bit in my mind. And it's something I have to rebuild that belief and work on. And, we don't know how they're taking their products. Were they consistent? If they were taking them right, if they're working with their products or against their product. Like there's so many factors. We have no idea. I just know hands down, these products work, period. Give it enough time. Work with them. That's all I need to know. But yet we let people, shake us. Hang on. Okay, I've got like 10% left on my phone.
That is a hard thing to go through, though. I remember in the beginning, I had a customer that had just ordered, and she told her friend about it, and her friend was interested. And then I talked to her friend, and then I recommended the same thing, the triplex, just because of what she was going through. And she just, dogged it bad. And then talked to her friends canceled her order and everything and didn't even give it a chance. And I was like, that hit me hard. And oh gosh, it took me a while to come from that, because I had never had someone talk to me like that about the products that hadn't even tried them.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. And so it shakes it, even though you believe in it, you have to
Right.
go back and remember, like, how do you guys like rebuild your belief? What do you do, when something like that happens?
So I feel like, was it last November, was a really rough month for me in Plexus. And, my points fell down, way down, dropped to the lowest they had been in a long time. And and I never lose faith in the products, because I'm a walking, talking, proven fact that they work. So no one on the whole earth will ever convince me otherwise. And I have just said that from day one, because literally, like, they have changed my health wise that drastically that no one's going to shake that proof or for me. But where I struggle with this belief sometimes is the business side, because it has fluctuated for me so bad that, what I now know and recognize is, when my points start to fall or they get to a certain number, I start freaking out like, okay, I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm never going to make it, and all these thoughts creep in. And so then, like, right away, as soon as that happens, I quickly like pray, and then I run and find all the motivational speakers in Plexus. And like, I will go and look up videos with Carl and Alec. I will look up videos with anybody, Celeste Gwen, and anybody with the business belief, or I will call and be like, look, I just don't believe this today. I'm gonna need somebody to stand in the gap because it's just not happening. And they do, they always do. And then, I build it right back and I'm right back. You just have to recognize the trigger when it comes. But as far as the products, I had a lady, brand new lady on my team. She just came February 1st. She messaged me the other day. Somebody is saying that our products cause XYZ. And I just cackled because I was like, so wait a minute. Does it even make sense that our products would cause that? Like, it just doesn't, So I try to like kind of reverse their negativity with a positive and just be like, well, honey, bless your heart, but
Funny. No, but that's good. I mean, and that's not only does that help you, but it helps them too. And I know I get what you're saying with the business. I mean, and I think a lot of us are feeling that way, especially right now. And so I just want to encourage any of you guys that, the economy is awful. Is that everything? No, but it's a lot of it. And it's not just Plexus. I was talking to a friend the other day, might have been Amber actually, and they had listened to like one of those coaches that does so many other, network marketing companies. It's not just Plexus people and just anybody. It doesn't have to be network marketing. And everybody across the board is seeing, they're feeling it. And just know that it's not just Plexus, because a lot of times it's easy to think that, oh, it's just this, maybe I'm in the wrong thing. Well, then you get to asking questions, like you said, Amber. And that's not true. And what I always have to go back to when I feel those thoughts start to creep in, those lies, do I still feel like the Lord has me here? Because he's the one that provided Plexus to me at the time I needed it and still needed it and is still supplying it. Like, I still see these products and this business as an answer to prayer even now. Is it time for me to be done? No, not at all. I don't feel like an inkling of that. And so that helps build my belief, back up, like, nope, Lord, I'm right where I need to be. What needs to happen is me personally, and I can only speak from my experiences, I need to step it up. I need to do more work rather than just, Lord, help me. Lord, help me, bring people to my team. I need to do the work. I need to do some action and put it to it. And is it going to be exactly, what I'm thinking and dreaming and like in my timing? No, we all know that. It's never in our timing. But his timing is always right. And through these times that we're lower in our belief are times for us to grow, and learn and even step up, in places we need to. But they're happening for a reason. So be confident in that, and that we will get through it, because we will. We've been through so many ups and downs, at least I have, in these 9 years, through different issues, whether it's the back office, whether, it's just like, oh my goodness, there's stressful times. And every time we've come back. So if I can just leave you with, be confident in where you are. because it's going to get better. All right. I guess that's really the last thing. Does anybody else have anything to add? I'm sorry, we're 6 minutes over our hour, so just want to open it up. Anybody else? No? All right, guys, thank you very much for being on and just discussing this with us. Look forward to next week. All right, and I'll post it it probably won't be till tomorrow morning. But tomorrow's the next episode that we'll discuss next week. All right, guys, I hope you have a really great night. See you later.